Hello there, I'm Karen Niemla, one of the librarians here at the Hammermill Library. As you can tell, things are different this semester, but in some ways, the library is kind of the same in that many of the resources that we had have always been available on our library website, and a lot of our newer resources have been available online. So I'm going to go over our library website and some of the basic resources that you'll need to get started on your research.
It's important to start at the library website because although you can find a lot of content online, not all of it is free. The library has already paid for subscriptions and ebooks, so you can get access to them right away without having to pay anything. You can find the library website at library.mercyhurst.edu. We're also in the hub. For this semester, you can find our library policies for COVID mitigation. The Hammermill Library is still available for study purposes, although we ask that you please do not touch any of the books in the stacks and follow other rules. Our print books are still available for checkout, but we ask that you place them on hold first. Placing holds is covered in another video, because this video will be focusing on electronic resources. But don't let that discourage you from using our books. There's also a chat box here under Ask Us, where you can get live chat with a library staff person. If you ever need to send us an email, you can use this Request Library Assistance form. And under Contact the Library here, you can get my contact information and the contact information of others working at the library. So even if you don't visit the library in person, we can still help you with your research. You can also ask us for a Zoom or Teams meeting so we can meet with live video. The quickest way to get started looking for articles from the homepage is the Search Everything box. And although it's called the Search Everything box, it's not necessarily going to be able to search absolutely everything. But we do call it Search Everything because it searches most of what we have. Having the checkbox here for full text checked ensures that you'll get articles that are available completely in full text rather than just previews of articles. And the peer-reviewed journals checkbox ensures that we get things that are peer-reviewed scholarly journals, the sorts of things that your professor typically likes to see. However, you can uncheck that if you're okay with getting things like magazines and newspapers, which are not scholarly, but report on current events in a way that scholarly peer-reviewed journals don't. Although the peer-reviewed scholarly journals are the high-quality resources that I'm looking for in this search, so I'll have that checked. I have some notes here with topics that I might want to look for. However, you may want to look at topics like these and think about different words that you can use to describe those terms. Like, for instance, stereotypes versus prejudices, or identity and maybe selfdom, or the self. There may be other words to describe the things in these lists. And the kinds of words that you use can determine the sorts of results that you get. And sometimes you can come up with ideas for new words to look for in the results that you're looking at in your searches. So while you're searching, you're not only looking for resources that you can use, but also ideas that you can use to make your searches better. I think I'll start with romance and identity. We got about 90,000 something results. By clicking on one of these, I can get a closer look at the article and maybe see what sort of hits I got for it. From here, I can get more information about the article, and I get an abstract for the article too. By looking at this abstract, I can see what the article is about, and I can also see some descriptors or subject terms that are attached to the article. Some of these things include self-concept, social class, family characteristics, social systems, romance, languages, which is not quite the sort of thing I was looking for. But the term self-concept, that's useful, so I can put that in my notes for later as another phrase that we can use to talk about identity while we're searching. But for now, I think I'll just pare down the results I already have, and we can do that by looking at the left-hand side and maybe using a date slider to get things that are more recent. Maybe we'll go 1998 to 2020. We can also look at different subjects, and these subject terms are typically terms that are put onto these articles by humans, rather than it just being a full-text search finding any word anywhere. Okay, so These are the ones I want, so I'll go ahead and update those results. And now we have 6,000 something, which is a lot less than what we started with, but these are much more likely to be about the subject that I asked for. Also, on the record page, you can find some tools on the right-hand side of the page. You can get a permalink that I can use to get back to this article again. This is a very handy way to do it because this always leads to this article. So I can copy that and say, put it in my notes so that I can find this article later. I could also email the article to myself and it will actually email the entire thing. So I could email that to myself and have that for later. We also have some pre-made citations under Cite here that you can copy and paste into your Works Cited page, and files that it can export out to a bibliographic management software like Zotero and Mendeley and EndNote if you wish to use something like that. But again, these pre-made citations are not always 100% correct, and they actually do remind you of that here. You still do need a style guide of some sort to check them over before submitting. Because Search Everything is searching all of the databases that it can, it will try to find articles in some other resources, which means that they will actually link out somewhere else. For instance, this one that says View Record in DOAJ, or Directory of Open Access Journals, if I click on it, it'll open up this other website, and then I can use its links to get to the full text. This one leads to JSTOR, which is one of our other databases. If you run into any trouble with special links like these and find yourself unable to find the full text, or if a link is broken, please do let us know, because that might just be a glitch, and maybe we actually do have access to that article. If you're looking for books online, you can go to Find, and then eBooks, and that's our list of ebook databases. Our paid subscription ones are at the top, while we also have some open source or free ebook resources here at the bottom. Credo Reference is an ebooks database that has dictionaries and encyclopedias and other reference materials. It's a good alternative to Wikipedia in that you can actually cite it, and these are published by well-known publishers. Let's have a look at the list of topics I have. Maybe we could do a search for technology and identity and see if there's any articles that have been written about that. My search has brought back some subject-specific encyclopedias and guides, like the John Hopkins Guide to Digital Media, or Sage Keith's Concept Series, Keith's Concepts in Body and Society, Global Social Issues, and etc. Here's one called Identity in the Online World, in the Encyclopedia of Computer Science and Technology. At the bottom of the article, there are some pre-made citations that you can put into your Works Cited page, although these may not always be 100% correct. And let's say I also want to look closer at the Encyclopedia of Computer Science and Technology. I can click on its title, and then browse through it the way that I would if I had the book with me in real life, or we can search within the title for certain words if we want. We also have another ebooks database for reference materials called Infobase eBooks, which contains books that are similar to those in Credo. But our largest collection of ebooks is the EBSCO's ebook collection here. From here we can search all the books that are in this database and get access to them right away. Let's try Education and Identity and see what shows up. From here we get some things like Identity, Community, and Learning Lives. We also got one here that actually says Education, Identity, and Conflict. Well, that sounds perfect. So if I click on it, I can get a description of what the book is about, as well as some of the top hits that we got in the book. To view the book, click on PDF full text, or sometimes it's a different format full text, but I avoid going with full download most of the time because this is not really a full download, and it also requires an extra account and also extra software you have to download and install onto your device. You can go ahead and try it if you want to, but I do think that PDF full text is a much more efficient way to get into the book. When you open it in the browser, you can flip through it like you would a book in real life. We can browse the chapters, And you can also search within the book if you wish. So if I'm looking for a certain word, it'll take me right to the page where that word appears. Besides the Search Everything box and the ebooks, we also have a long list of databases, about 110, and if we only look at the subscription databases, we have about 55 of those, although many of these are covered in the Search Everything box. There are some that are not covered in the Search Everything box, and one of those is one that I would like to talk a bit more about, called Opposing Viewpoints in Context. This is a good place to start when you're exploring a topic that happens to be a current events topic that has something to do with today's society. So I'm going to try, say, stereotypes, and see what comes up in here. The search results bring back many different kinds of content types, because it searches in these various areas. It brings back journal articles, as well as these things called viewpoints, which is this database's way of being able to show you different facets of a subject or different sides of an argument, which help you better understand the argument regardless of what side you're on. So here where it says news, it says gender stereotypes keep boys from reading as well as girls. So if I click on that, I can get the full text of the article. So those are the resources that I think will be most helpful to you in Comp 120. But remember that we have many more resources available, so if you have any more questions, do contact us with the Request Library Assistance form, contact us through LibChat, or the Contact the Library link up here. Just remember that we are still here to help you, and thank you for listening through this video. Have a nice week.